Hello everyone, welcome to Insights 21 into often heard less known things. Today we are here with another interesting topic, that is Indian rupee depreciation, the currency depreciation, its reasons as well as pros and cons. How is it going to impact, whether it is positive or negative on our country's economy? We will learn regarding this. What is rupee depreciation? It is basically a decrease in the value of the rupee as compared to other currencies. In this context, we are referring to dollar, US dollars. So for example, when it comes to depreciation, in April 2022, $1 was equal to 76 rupees. Say for example, this is the case. In April 2023, $1 became 82 rupees. So here, for every dollar, we should pay 6 rupee extra. This is what depreciation is. It means we should pay more rupees to buy a single dollar. If we have to pay more rupees in order to buy a single dollar, it means there is a depreciation in Indian rupee value. Reasons for depreciation. Global factors. You see, global factors like war or any pandemics. Recently, Russia-Ukraine war and pandemic, we all know COVID-19 pandemic. All these things will have effect over the volatility as well as the uncertainty in the global financial markets. So it also affects the sentiments and also the confidence of investors as well as traders. Such global factors can affect the supply as well as demand of the commodities. Commodities, say for example oil or gold. So these kind of commodities have significant impact on the trade balance in our country, which leads to the changes in foreign exchange rates. Increase in oil prices. See, increase in oil prices, crude oil. We are the major importers of crude oil from Russia as well as UAE, Saudi Arabia. Another reason for fall of INR is the rise in crude oil prices, which have been increasing in the global market. India is the largest consumer of oil. It buys oil from other countries using foreign currencies. When the oil prices go up, what happens is India has to spend more foreign currency in order to buy the oil, which puts pressure on Indians or Indian rupee. FDI outflow. FDI is foreign direct investors. What they do, usually what they do is, over the past year, what has happened is there is a huge capital outflow of FDIs. What they do is they pull out their investments when Indian rupee value or when there is some uncertainty, global uncertainty or anything like that, when it comes to recession or inflation rates are getting higher in that particular country's investments or in that particular country. What FDIs do is they pull out their investments from that country, which leads to depreciation in currency. Hike in interest rates. The interest rates which are levied on the investors by the government, by that particular country's government, may impact on those investors. So what they do is they withdraw or they take back all their investments. This is also one of the major reason why there is a decrease in rupee value. Trade deficit in the country. Basically, trade deficit is when the imports are higher than the exports. It creates trade deficit. It should be either imports equal to exports or exports should be higher than imports. This is the good sign for that particular country's economy. So when there is a trade deficit in the country, obviously the rupee value decreases. So these are the reasons why there is a depreciation in Indian rupee value. So impact of depreciation, it can have both positive as well as negative impacts on that particular country's economy. Let's see what are all the positive and negative impacts. When it comes to negative impacts, increased import cost. So when we have to import something from the other countries, we should incur more cost in order to import that particular product. When the country is incurring more cost in order to import that particular product, what happens is in the domestic markets, the costs are higher. When the costs are higher, this leads to decrease in the standard of living of people. They don't buy that particular product, and what happens is this leads to inflation rates. As a result, this cost is trickled down to the ultimate consumers who have to pay higher prices for essential goods and services. So it impacts on their overall standard of living. So increased inflation rates. A depreciating rupee leads to an increase in the cost of imported goods. For example, oil, any machinery for that matter, or any goods. So in turn, what happens is increases the prices of these goods in the Indian market. This leads to higher inflation rates. This have direct impact on purchasing power of consumers. This worsens the economic conditions of the people, results in economic conditions of the country gets worsened. Increased cost of production. When we have to produce something, what happens is we have to incur more cost. So for domestic industries, when they have to buy raw materials, they have to afford more price. Or when the demand is high, what happens is they will get the raw materials for higher prices. This leads to increased cost of production, as well as the selling price also will be higher in the particular country. Increased cost of abroad borrowing. What happens is a weakening rupee can make it more expensive for Indian businesses and the government to borrow money from overseas lender. When the people are ready to lend money, or when we are ready to receive money from lenders, we have to do it. We should take loans, and the interests will be going on adding. The depreciating rupee leads to increased outflow of EMI on existing external loans. This can lead to slowdown in economic growth. These are all the negative impacts of depreciating rupee. The positive impacts are as follows. It attracts foreign investments. So when the value or Indian rupee is low, or it is weakening day by day, what happens is foreign investors come to the country, or they show interests in investing here. So one or the other day the prices may hike or it may go up. This is the logic behind this. Exports are cheaper. When we have to export something, it is very cheaper. At very cheaper rates we can export things. This is one of the positive impact. When the Indian rupee depreciates, it makes Indian exports very cheaper in the international markets. So the business of India will go on very nicely. When we are providing things in a very low price than our competitors, what happens is people get attracted towards Indian products and they buy, which increases the revenue of our country. Tourism increases. A weaker rupee can make it cheaper for foreigners to visit India. This can bring in more foreign currency and generate employment opportunities to the people who are working in tourism industry. Additionally, a rise in tourism can also promote Indian culture and heritage. It will add on to our name and fame. So this is positive impact. So to conclude, depreciating currency is not a good sign for the country's economy. Government and RBI are taking many measures to overcome this. Experts tell that the fall will continue in 2023. So why does it continue, or why won't it not increase? Let's discuss about this in the upcoming video. So for today, I hope you guys understood the reasons, pros and cons of a depreciating rupee. For now, I will conclude with this. things. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to Insights 21 into often heard less known things.